one. In this video we're going to be forging a ball peen hammer. No, we're not. We're going to be forging a tomahawk or a small axe from a ball peen hammer. I've been doing quite a few projects recently, quite of them a little bit enthusiastic. For example, I did this last weekend. It's a large Bowie knife. This one was quite easy, but I've been doing quite a few projects recently. One of which is the start of a bearded axe here. I've got a lot of drawing out to do on that, and with one man with a sledgehammer it's a bit difficult. But that's kind of nice here. I've got the eye, obviously, that when I've finished I'm going to clean the eye up. The weld at the back of the eye came out nice. I'm using Jim Austin's design for this. But yeah, I've also, that one's a bit, that's going to take me ages, and that's one of the ones I've been doing for quite a while, but quite difficult. The other one is, I've actually started my first saw, which I know I'm 6 months in. Most of this stuff I'm doing is way too early, but most of the reason you don't want to do stuff like this too early is because you might get put off by the fact that, you know, I've been putting in hours at the forge and I'm not getting anything out of it. Either burnt the steel, I've broken it, it's come out awful and I'm not pleased with it. I don't really mind. I'm quite happy to sit there hammering metal. I quite enjoy that, and if things don't turn out fine, then so be it. But I will have learned a lot of practical knowledge along the way. And then when I read my books on how to make these things like swords and stuff, I can relate to them easier because I know the actual practical problems as well as, I mean, all of forging is easy in theory, but it's very difficult in practice. Anyway, I'll stop rambling and we'll get on with the video.
Schooner from the Moy on Lake St. Clair. On the 3rd day of October, boys, I did set sail for there to the garrison in Amherstburg. I quickly would prepare with Captain Maxwell and his wife and kids and powdered hair. Aboard the Nancy, and regimental pride aboard the Nancy, with all his pomp and bluster there aboard the Nancy. Oh, below the St. Clair Rapids, I sent scouts unto the shore to ask a friendly Wyandotte to say what lay before. Amherstburg is fallen with the same for you in store, and malicious sent to take you here, 50 horse or more. Well, up comes Captain Maxwell, then surrender now I say. Give up your Nancy schooner and make off without delay. Said, say you sure I do implore, I will not die this day. Says I, go or get below, for I'll be on my way. Aboard the Nancy, surrender hell I say. Aboard the Nancy, it's back to Mackinac, go fight aboard the Nancy, oh. Up comes Colonel Bobian then, who shouts as he draws near. Give up your Nancy schooner and I swear you've not to fare. With got your Captain Maxwell, sir, spare yourself his tears. Says I'll not send you shot the buzz about your ears. We fired as we all anchor, boys, and we got underway. But scarce a dozen broadsides, boys, and Nancy didn't pay. Before the business sickened them, they bravely ran away. All sail we made, reached the lake before bluster, roar, and pray. 9 sailors on the Nancy boys made 50 run away. The powder in their hair that things powder sent their way. By poor and ragged sailormen who swore that they would stay aboard the Nancy. 6 pence and pound a day aboard the Nancy. No uniform for men to scorn aboard the Nancy. Oh, aboard the Nancy. 6 pence and pound a day aboard the Nancy. No uniform for men to scorn aboard the Nancy. Oh. Hey. Drinking down to Reedy's house when first we heard the blow. It seemed to come from River Rock, so boldly forth we go. And sure enough, a rusty tub could just be barely seen. And the sun was high up in the air, we made out Athens Queen. Oh, the lovely Athens Queen. Me boys, I must remind you there's a bottle left inside. So let us go and have a few and wait until low time. And if the sea's not kinder when the glasses are clean, we will then set forth some dories, lads, and see what may be seen on the lovely Athens Queen. Some songs and old tall stories then came out to pass the time. Nor could a single bottle keep us all until low time. And so it was before we left the house we were at sea. So I scarcely can remember how we made the Athens Queen. Oh, the lovely Athens Queen. Oh, the winds inside me belly were as high as those outside. And though I've never seen a guy lost dinner overside, well, there was no crew to save, for we'd have been and green. We could scarcely keep ourselves from the well, Reedy goes straight down below and comes up with a cow. Hello, I said, now what would you be wanting with that now? You'll never take a cow home in a dory on such sea. Well, me son, he says, I've always fancied fresh green in me tea, for the lovely Athens Queen. I headed for the galley then, 'cause I was rather dry, and glad I was to get there quick, for what should I espy? Oh, what a shame it would have been for to lose it all at sea. 40 cases of the best Napoleon brandy ever seen on the lovely Athens Queen. I loaded 20 cases, boys, then headed for the shore. Unloaded them as quick as that, and then pulled back for more. Smith was pulling for the shore, but he could scarce be seen under near 200 chickens and a leather couch of green from the lovely Athens Queen. Well, here's to all good salvagers, likewise to River Rock, and to Napoleon brandy, of which now we have much stock. We eat a lot of chicken and sit on a couch of green, and we wait for River Rock to claim another Athens Queen. Oh, the year was 1778. How I wish I was in Sherbrooke now. A letter of marque came from the king to the scummiest vessel I'd ever seen. God damn them all. I was told we'd cruise the seas for American gold. We'd fire no guns, shed no tears. Now I'm a broken man on a Halifax pier, the last of Barrett's privateers. Oh, well, Sid Barrett ride to town. How I wish I was in Sherbrooke now. For 20 brave men, all fishermen, who would make for him the Antelope's crew. God damn them all. I was told we'd cruise the seas for American gold. We'd fire no guns, shed no tears. Now I'm a broken man on a Halifax pier, the last of Barrett's privateers. The Antelope sloop was a sickening sight. How I wish I was in Sherbrooke now. She'd a list to the port and her sails in rags, and the cook in the scuppers with the staggers and jags. God damn them all. I was told we'd cruise the seas for American gold. We'd fire no guns, shed no tears. Now I'm a broken man on a Halifax pier, the last of Barrett's privateers. On the King's birthday we put to sea. How I wish I was in Sherbrooke now. We were 91 days to Montego Bay, pumping like madmen all the way. God damn them all. I was told we'd cruise and see one of them and told me five minutes. Shed no tears. Now I'm a broken man on a Halifax pier, the last of Barrett's privateers. On the 96th day we sailed again. How I wish I was in Sherbrooke now. When a bloody great Yankee hove in sight with our crack 4-pounders we made to fight. God damn them all. I was told we'd cruise the seas for American gold. We'd fire no guns, shed no tears. Now I'm a broken man on a Halifax pier, the last of Barrett's privateers. The Yankee lay low down with gold. How I wish I was in Sherbrooke now. She was broad and fat and loose in stays, but to catch her took the antelope 2 whole days. God damn them.
Come on, you sissies!
When at length we stood 2 cables away, I wish I was in Sherbrooke now. Our crack 4-pounders made an awful din, but with one fat ball the Yanks stove us in. God damn them all. I was told we'd cruise the seas for American gold. We'd fire no guns, shed no tears. Now I'm a broken man on a Halifax pier, the last of Barrett's privateers. The Antelope shook and pitched on her side. How I wish I was in Sherbrooke now. Barrett was smashed like a bowl of eggs, and the main truck carried off both my legs. God damn them all. I was told we'd cruise the seas for American gold. We'd fire no guns, shed no tears. Now I'm a broken man on a Halifax pier, the last of Barrett's privateers. So here I lay in my 23rd year. How wish I was in Sherbrooke now. It's been 6 years since we sailed away, and I just made Halifax yesterday. God damn them all. I was told we'd cruise the seas for American gold. We'd fire no guns, shed no tears. Now I'm a broken man on a Halifax pier, the last of Barrett's privateers.
So we've got the blade part forged. That's roughly what it looks like. Still very, very hot. I've gone for the sort of bearded Viking axe kind of style. It's turned out reasonably well. I'd have liked the beard to have been a bit bigger, but you're kind of limited with the amount of steel you've got. The blade, the shape of the blade needs a little bit of cleaning up on the grinder. I wanted to avoid using the grinder as much as I could, but I don't think that's exactly cheating. What I'm going to do now is forge out this the ball, which I've already flattened a bit so I could use it with the tongs. I'm going to forge that out into a spike, sort of like you find on a warhammer, that sort of thing, but obviously a bit smaller. You could go for a hammerhead on there, which might be quite useful depending on what you're using this axe for. Personally, I won't be using this axe for many important things because I don't know what steel it is. But I'll forge it out to a spike, and could have a bit of fun there with penetrating a bit of sheet metal. We might do a test video of this as a throwing axe, as a chopping axe, as for penetrating the steel, that sort of thing. And then I might come back and forge the lanyards. I might forge them a little more pointed, like you do tend to find on Viking axes. So yeah, so I'm going to forge that out, work on the lanyards, then I'm going to anneal it, we'll clean it up on the grinder a bit, then I'm going to put it back in the forge, heat treat it, harden, temper, and then give it, I may polish the whole thing, I'm not sure. I'll do the edges to start with, see how it looks. If not, I'll polish the whole thing. Once I'm done with that, then I need to put a hand on it, and that's it. The only problem with this when it comes to heat treating is I don't know what steel it is. It's, as I say, it was obviously a hammerhead to start with. So there's a very high possibility that all it is mild steel, or even, because it's quite old, it could be raw iron that's been case hardened, in which case it's not going to harden hardly at all, maybe not at all. Yeah, so it may not harden at all. It might be a decent tool still, but everything from the way it's worked under the hammer tells me that it's not very high carbon. So that we may be disappointed here. So what I want to do, normally for an unknown steel I'd do an oil harden, which is slower. For this I do a water hardening, because I think it's medium to low carbon steel. So I think going with a water quench would be perfectly safe in this scenario. The problem with going with a water quench, if it turns out to be a high carbon steel, it would crack and ruin the entire project, because obviously it hardens too much too quick and then cracks. Doing it in oil it's safer, but in this case I think we're going to have to do it more to get a decent hardness. It may not harden at all, but we'll see. Once we've got it done, I'll do a few tests. I'll test it on chopping a bit of steel and see what it does to the edge, and that way we'll be able to get a decent idea of the carbon content. I should have, I'll tell you what, I meant to do this earlier before we started, but there's no harm in doing it a bit now. Yeah, well, I just did a spark test, and there was quite a lot of carbon sparks, so I'm going to say medium, maybe 0.4% carbon. It's about the same as a leaf spring, so maybe up to 0.6. It certainly won't be any higher than 0.6. But again, I've never, even with leaf spring 5160, 0.6% carbon, which you're supposed to quench in oil, I've never, I do sometimes quench it in water, I've never had it crack. I think this is lower, so I'm going to quench in water to make sure I get that hardness. And we'll soon see, once we've done it, do a file test or a grind test and see how hard it is, but that's for later. Right now we're going to forge out this spike. Right, as you can see, I've pretty much got that taper turns where it should be. At this point it just needs straightening. However, I've decided that looking at it, for this style axe, having that spike just doesn't look right. I think if you cut it off there and if that'd look a lot better than with a spike. Obviously it'd look a bit better if it was straight, but it just doesn't go with the Viking style. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to cut that off, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to leave just enough to have a sort of hammer, like a pole you get on a normal axe. And I think that'd be a lot better for this style axe. So I'm going to go ahead and get the hot cut, and it's going to be really awkward because I've got a helper, and I need to have, when I'm doing the hot cut, this part, the body, the actual part of the axe I want to keep has to be off the anvil, because if it's on, then you're going to ruin it. You're going to hammer it and it's going to change shape and it's not going to be what you want. So I need a way to kind of keep half it on, cut off with a hot cut. What I really need is a hot cut Hardy. That'd be really good, but I don't have one. So I'll probably improvise some way. Perhaps it might end up getting a bit messy, bits flying, but deal with it. I may well have to use the hot cut, maybe at the actual thing holding the part I'm cutting still on the anvil, so we'll see. Okay. Okay, so after doing that, we're left with this, which is pretty good. I'm quite happy with it. What I'm going to do now is anneal this That is assuming it needs annealing, depending on the content, the composition of the steel. I'm going to anneal it anyway, and then I'm going to grind, clean up the edges, put the final bevels on, clean up the profile a little bit, and the hammer parts, and then we're on to hardening and tempering. So we're almost there. I mean, even if this isn't the right steel, it's an exercise in the making of this style axe, and you can still get practice with hardening and tempering even if it doesn't work properly. Also, yeah, well, I'll probably just be using this for woodwork, in which case mild steel will probably be just fine, although it will need to be sharpened a little more often. So yeah, pretty happy with this, how this has turned out. So I'm going to go ahead and anneal this.